welcome to the first launch party of the new year, called A Die You Can Adore. Today we're launching January's Die to Try series die that is sure to preserve your quilting skills in each project.
Stay tuned to find out how.
Hi Quilters, I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I'm Erica Botker, AccuQuilt's creativity expert.
Welcome to today's Die to Try launch party. I know all the words. This new die is definitely one you'll adore. We have had such a great time working with it, have we not?
Absolutely love it. And we are so glad to be able to release this exclusive die to kick off the new year. So the Die to Try program, if you're not familiar with it, is a way that we offer an exclusive new die the first Tuesday of every month. Now these dies are available just during their release month, that little period of time, from AccuQuilt on their website or your local AccuQuilt retailer. Now you can also vote to add a die to try to our permanent die collection, meaning more quilters will be able to grab up this die if they were unable to capture one during its special launch.
And trust us quilters, you want to get this die to try as soon as possible. To help get started with it, we have an exciting launch party for you today. As always, we've planned tons of fun. We have fantastic prices, can-do project ideas, a trunk show jam-packed with inspiration, and we'll announce the December and grand prize winners for the Quilt the World 2022 campaign.
Plus, we'll be joined by two of our experts, Harper and Marianne Fontana, who will be providing plenty of clever ideas that you can cook up using this month's Die to Try.
Okay, I can't stand it anymore. Let's see what we have. Capture your creativity with the Go Canning Jar 8-inch finished die. This block on board or bob die features 6 shapes that can be easily and perfectly cut in a single pass using the Go and Go Big electric fabric cutters. Just like the free downloadable patterns available on our website demonstrate, this bob die can turn any quilting project into a masterpiece. You're only limited by your imagination. Pair this fun die with other 8-inch finished bobs, compatible Go cube sizes, 8-inch finished setting triangles, or your favorite applique shapes to make lovely table runners, whimsical throw quilts, and more. You won't be able to contain your creativity with this die because at AccuQuilt we help you cut time so you can quilt more. Isn't it so cute?
So cute.
Okay, quilters, we've had tons of requests for this block, including the two of us.
Yes, indeed.
And we're really excited to talk about this pieced canning jar.
Yes, and wait till you see the trunk show samples with the new patterns, but not yet, because we're going to start by taking a look at the block. So here is the look at the block.
Look at this super cute one.
It's just so cute. It's so quick and easy. And it's just, oh, the project ideas in my little bean head.
They are. And this makes an 8-inch finished block, and it is a pieced canning jar. It's not an applique shape,
Right.
It is pieced.
That's right.
And so it's going to work perfectly like with your 8-inch cubes and other 8-inch bobs. And so let's take a look at the die.
And really, it's going to be all about fabric with this one.
All about the fabric. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
And you and I have had a little time to work with this, and so it's just been really fun. So this is shape E. This is the body here of the
Right.
canning jar. Here,
We'll
make that
there we
work.
go.
There we go. This is the body of the canning jar. Shape D, you need 2 pieces. It's the sides. Shape A, you need 2 pieces. It's the sides. Erica, what is this little shape B?
So that little half square triangle is what is going to go on the corners of our canning jar.
Right, and look, quilters, we didn't make a rectangle and then squares. Right, so you're wasting fabric. No, we cut this off and then we're gonna cut off our dog ears and it's gonna sew together perfectly. And what is shape C?
Shape C is going to be not only the jar lid, but the piece of background up above it.
Right. So this is like the band on the canning jar.
That's right.
So this is going to cut a 3-color block in just one pass through your cutter. It's on a 10 by 10 die board, so it's going to fit through the Go or the Go Big.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So just remember that. And you want to make sure you have a 10 by 10 cutting mat.
That's
and
right.
This die is full of creative possibilities, isn't it?
It is. So we know that the first thing you're going to ask is if you can make this block using a cube. And the answer is no.
Right.
We have got shapes on this die that aren't found in any cube, and we'll talk more about that later. But I am excited to cut one out and lay it out for you so you can see how it goes together.
Yep. All right, so let's do that. So what I've done is I prepped my fabric, and here is shape B. I have 2 of these because you need 4 corners.
That's right.
And Erica, okay, you could totally just make 2 sections of fabric. I just did one.
You just cut a strip of fabric, and that's okay.
And I wanted 2 colors for shape C.
Background and the lid.
The little band. And then this is going to go right here.
This is going to be our jar.
Yeah, all right. All right, so I'm going to use a 10 by 10 cutting mat. I'm going to use my Go Big because I can.
Yes.
And again, you
can.
I can. Oh, look at that.
Oh, okay.
All day long, quilters.
Yep.
You're gonna.
Yep.
All day long, you're gonna hear that. All right, so we're gonna slide our mat, give it a little love.
Have a can-do attitude.
Oh, that's one of our core values.
It is.
All right, here we go. All right, so Erica, I'm gonna let you do all the hard work here.
Okay, so she's going to
build
have
one.
me do the heavy lifting. So we're going to start with our jar center. And I just chain pieced on these. It was so much
days.
fun putting these little corners on. And with the specialized dog ears, you're going to know that they're absolutely in the right spot. You're going to see where your 1/4-inch seam allowance is. I'll let you flip that one.
I'll flip it here.
And here's the one for your other corner.
There we go.
And then the top piece, then once you have that all done, you can go ahead, put your sides on.
And there is an order in which
There
to
is
put
an
this.
order.
And the lovely Erica and I made a video on how to cut and piece this block together. And you want to make sure you put it in the correct order because if you try to add the top, it's not going to fit.
That's right. That's right. So then the top section is going to be made with the piece for the jar lid, some more background.
Right.
And of course, seam allowance comes into play. Here's your side pieces, and it's that simple.
Yeah.
You're going to have that built in no time at all.
Oh yeah, it's just going to go together beautifully.
All right, so all these shapes are not found in a cube. We've got some nice possibilities, some nice creative possibilities on here. But personally, I'm excited to see what our experts have cooked up.
For today's show, we've challenged 2 of our experts to dream up plenty of inspiration using the Go Canning Jar piece die.
Working with Go Cubes and the Die to Try is Barbara Harper. Now, Barbara's a quilter, seamstress, and a teacher. She's made hundreds of quilts, and she's owned her Go for over 10 years.
She credits much of her award-winning quilt success to accurate cuts her system provides. Barbara began sewing as a child with her grandmother and enjoys creating quilts for special people in her life. Happy New Year, Miss Barbara.
And pairing the Go Canning Jar piece die with other Bob dies is Marianne Fontana. Marianne's a self-taught sewer, quilter, and textile artist. She started sewing at the tender age of 8 and is not only an AccuQuilt expert and designer, but has also won both first place and Judge's Choice Award in the wall quilt category for her quilt, The Boat Maker.
And she creates and sells her own quilts, patterns, and other textile arts on Etsy, produces free educational quilting videos for YouTube, and volunteers her time between 2 great causes. One is the Giving Doll Project, a national organization that makes cloth dolls for those in need of comfort. As a member of Quilts of Valor, she designs patterns and volunteers to free motion quilt all the quilt tops for her local group in Delaware. That's fabulous.
It is.
Happy New Year to Marianne.
Happy New Year. Okay, let's see what our experts have come up with to preserve this block's versatility. Let's check in first with Barbara. What do you have for us? Oh, thank you.
Pam, Erica, this new die can match with the cubes. The possibilities are endless. I first started out making a test block, but I didn't make blocks to go with it. I put my blocks inside the jar. Right here I used my 4-inch cube. These are little chisels to make a label. How cute would that be with some embroidery? But there's so many blocks that you can make with your 4, your 5, and your 6-inch that'll fit in the center of the jar. You just need some strip dies to fill out the outside. What about some little tiny pinwheels from the 4-inch? Or what about a star? You put a star inside of there. Here's some little flying geese. You go down the center with flying geese made from your 4, 5, or 6-inch cubes. But then I moved on to think, what about taking my cube and making some pineapples? I can make the top. Right here is I use the 6-inch cube. Here's some flying geese. There's a shape number 1, and then there's some shape 5s and some shape 2s to make the top of my pineapples. From my pineapple, I discovered I could put a flying geese from my 6-inch cube on the bottom, pairs up real nicely, and I would have carrots. You can also make beets that same way. Then some other shapes I played with was I was making a fish using shape number 16 from my 6-inch cube, but it looks more like a piece of candy. Worked out better. Then I moved on to thinking, how can I use this to make a quilt or a quilt block? And so I discovered that with this shape, I can take my 6-inch quarter square triangle and my 9-inch quarter square triangle from my cubes and add it to the side to get a block that looks like this. Again, this is a 6-inch quarter square triangle cut as a half square, and the 9-inch quarter square cut as a half square. And I come up with a block that looks like this. From here, I can just start adding more of these blocks. Fast and easy, a great way to use up scraps to come up with kind of a chandelier design. So I'm gonna go get busy and I'm gonna make you a jarring craft project. I'll be back in just a minute.
So many clever ideas.
So many clever ideas. The little blocks, the other size quarter square triangles, making it completely different look. I just think it's amazing.
We're going to have to talk about some of those things, I think.
We are, because I love the fact that Barbara does this every time, and we suggest you do it too. Every time you get a new die, cut out all the pieces and measure them and see, are they going to go with other pieces?
See what they're going to go with, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think that's brilliant.
Great ideas.
All right, now that we've had a chance to go over the new die and get some more inspiration from one of our experts, how about we give away a Go Canning Jar piece die to one lucky viewer who registered for today's show?
I love that idea. Okay, our giveaways are one way we like to show appreciation to our viewers who have joined the AccuQuilt community.
All right, the first lucky winner of the new year of a Go Canning Jar pieced 8-inch finish die is, drumroll please, Lindy C. of San Antonio, Texas. Congratulations. Okay, you're gonna love this die.
Oh, it is so fun.
Okay.
Sorry, my hands are really cold in the studio. Pam's hot, I'm cold.
I won't let her turn on the heat.
All right.
It's all right.
She is so clever, and I love the thought of putting a block inside the jar because you can preserve it that way, right?
So many puns. All right, I agree. So let's take a look at how she did it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is our little block. This is one of the blocks from one of our patterns that we made. So it's a little light here. But this is 5.5 inches.
Yes.
Right. So it finishes 5 inches. So you could actually take from your 5-inch cube and create a block.
Right. You'd sew a strip on top. You'd sew a strip down here.
Right. And you and I talked about this for just a minute.
Yes.
That maybe we could line it up here at the bottom.
Right.
This is from the Go Sprockets pattern. It's a free pattern at AccuQuilt.com from the 5-inch cube. And then it would line up we have the seam allowance here.
Right.
But then what size half square triangles would we need? And then we could turn those blocks on point.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
we
I
were-
just think it's just
I don't know,
fabulous.
there's a lot of great possibilities.
Right. You could also take a 4-inch block
Right.
and expand it. We have 18 different sizes of strip dies.
So it would be smaller, and you'd want to sew strips of your jar fabric around it, and then basically fussy cut it, right?
Right. And I did like the concept of appliquing like the signature block to it to
Yes.
look like a label.
Yes, that was very clever. That was very clever. And I love how she made that other block, turning the main portion of the jar into on point. And, you know, she had that like that candy
Oh, yeah,
piece
yeah,
that
here.
she did. And so it turned it on point. And that gave me an idea about putting it on the block on point, because you think about it and you
we
think,
go.
well, I'm not going to put a jar on point, but look, you could have little ladybugs spilling out,
Of
because
your
there's
little jar.
ladybugs here. So then you could like have applique ladybugs on your wall hanging.
Right. Or maybe it had hearts and you could do little applique hearts.
Or heart
or
buttons.
buttons or all sorts of fun
or-
things. Because
yeah.
I do like the fact that, you know, oftentimes those jars spill.
But basically, yes, jars spill. But anytime you have a block, face it, you should have the setting triangles.
Right,
to
and
go
then you
with
have
it,
those
right?
8-inch setting triangles, and you could use the 8-inch setting square
Mm-hmm.
to applique whatever is falling
Whatever's
out of your
falling
jar.
out. Oh yeah, that's true. That's another clever idea.
Here in the Dream Studio, I feel like Legos would
Fall out. Yes, yes.
All right.
So then we made a pineapple, right?
Okay, well, Barbara made a pineapple.
Barbara made a pineapple, and we had to take a look at it
Right.
to see how she did that. So the bottom part is just the same. I used yellow fabric for mine. She had some fabulous, I bet that was K-Facet
Yeah, it was
fabric.
fabulous.
It
I
was
hope she makes a
fabulous.
whole pineapple.
I
quilt.
do too. So then she took the large square from the 6-inch cube, so that's shape number 1 right
Right.
here. She used the small square, shape number 2, here
Right.
in the corners. Then she used the small half square triangles to make units
Shape
for
number
the sides.
Uh-huh.
And then this is a flying geese unit. And it seems like a lot of pieces, but this went together super fast.
Which are 4 and
So
5.
here's our quarter square triangle, shape number 4, and again, those small.
And then this strip was
This strip was a 1 and I'm thinking
gonna
it was a
measure.
1.5-inch
Yeah,
strip.
yeah.
And that made it all, if I pressed it a little bit better, it would have
we go.
laid out perfectly.
Okay, so then Barbara really took it up a notch and showed us how to take that pineapple from the
Yes.
jar and make a carrot.
Yes.
Now this I thought was absolutely
Yes.
brilliant. Okay, so here's my,
Here she did the
Canning
flying,
jar.
there's the canning jar right there.
and then instead of the flying geese on the top, I added flying geese to the bottom. Now, I used shapes 4 and 5 from the 6-inch cube, and these are actually the real sides that go from the die
On the top.
on the top to make it. And I thought this was brilliant because the 2 pieces you sew together to make the
lid in the
lid
background.
is equal to shape number 8 in the 6-inch cube,
That's fabulous.
right?
So those are like half rectangles almost if
They
you wanted
are.
to sew them together.
They
You
are.
could do some really fun things with that. That's a great
So
shape
she
to
suggested
add.
you could make a turnip, you could make any kind of root vegetable. But I think this is darling.
Yes, and then just use the smaller green top because otherwise it's just too much.
Yeah, we decided it was too much.
We
but
decided it
Look
was
at how fun. So kudos to Barbara for being so creative.
Okay, such creative ideas.
All right. Now, after seeing what Barbara did, I really can't wait to see what our other expert has come up with. Marianne, what ideas do you have for us?
Well, thank you for having me again, ladies. It's always a pleasure, and I am so jarred by the things that I can make by this. Haha. Anyway, it's a really cool die. I call it my new favorite because it's a 5-minute die. I can actually put a block together in 5 minutes. It's that easy. Very simple pieces. The jar is shape E, and then there's just A, B, C, and D, which go around the background. This is the lid, and you're set to go. It is simple and easy. One of the things you always need to do when you start with the new die is make a block sample first to make sure you know what you're doing. So that's what I did. I made this, and I used my leftover donut fabric, and it makes a perfect 8-inch finished block. Now my challenge is to pair it with a bob die, and I have a bunch of them here waiting in the wings as soon as I decide what to do, and we'll go through those later. But first, let me share with you my inspiration. Now, if you make obviously a simple jar, just like this, there's a lot of things you can do. Let's just walk through some of the inspiration. You can make an I Spy quilt using 2 jars with the same filled things and make it a matching game for kids. Fun. Obviously, the traditional way to do it is just put a jar of items on a shelf, and here there are 2 different versions. This one is filled with little tiny critters, and then there are some applique dies climbing through the shelves. Really cute. And then this is just full of jars of candy. So I really like these. One I thought that really struck me was this one, and this is 12 seasons jars, and they did one for each season, and I thought that was a very clever idea, and I really liked it. But let's go back to the donut. One of the things I realized I could do is if I took the signature die from the 6-inch cube, I could make labels and just applique them on and then have labels for my jars. And that's like simple, easy peasy, raw edge applique, stitch around the side, you're done. You've got another concept. The next thing, while searching on the internet, I found this, which I thought was really cool. And it's almost like an individual quilted jar. And I said, well, what can you do with that? Well, I used the large jar shape, and I just made a mug rug from it. And I took 2 hearts from the applique die. And this was so simple. Piece of batting, 2 layers of the shape. I cut them all at one time, sewed them together inside out, put the applique on. I'm done. Quick and easy gift. The other thing that I realized I could do is I could just take the jar and do it 2-sided and make it fillable. Now, I do have a little lip on the top. I can put a drawstring on it, but now I can put a message in a bottle. And then, of course, you can go back to just making some pictures. Here's one. It's just a little homey scene using a variety of different items and shapes and the jars that I thought were really cool. And while I know the season's passed, there's some large ornaments here. You could hide gift cards in them. And then another little, fall scene. I thought this was kind of fun. You can turn them upside down and do globes out of them, snow globes, which I thought was kind of cute. And one of the ones I really liked was just simply doing little flower jars and vases of different things. But I said, well, if I'm going to make a jar or a vase, wouldn't I really want to see what's inside? So I decided to make a fillable jar, and I used clear vinyl, and I cut just 1 piece of vinyl and 1 piece of the pink and 1 top piece of jar. I sewed the pink and the jar lid together and then sewed the vinyl with a blanket stitch around. And now I can fill it. I have these little felt hearts I put in it, but you could put messages on it. You can make a little back of the door hanger for your kid, leave notes in it. It would be so much fun. But I digress. My challenge is to use a bob die with the new jar die. So the question is, which bob die will I be using? Will I be using Hattie's Choice? Or maybe Snail's Trail? I really like the Mill and Stars quite a bit. And Winding Ways has always been one of my favorites. These are just a few of the 8-inch finish block on board dies that are available that I can pair with a canning jar. So just wait to see what I've selected.
Okay, well, she kind of left us hanging there with what she's going to use for her project.
She did.
So many clever ideas.
I love the clear plastic vinyl and the idea
Yes.
of leaving love notes, and you
Oh,
could,
that is so
leave
cute.
little messages or
Yes.
those kinds of fun things.
Yes.
Someone in the comments section said, doesn't Pam have a son named Mason? And it has not escaped me that, yes, I do have a son named Mason, and now there is a mason jar for him. So I'm thinking of some clever things for Mason.
Well, that
to
one
put in my
example she
jars.
had, though, that she had they had quilted it, they had quilted the name onto it. So
Yes.
I think you totally have to do that
Yeah.
so that you can do the script
Yes, that says
Mason on it and quilt that into it. That
Yeah.
was really clever.
I think it's darling.
All right, well, let's celebrate this die by giving away another Go Canning Jar piece 8-inch finished die to a lucky viewer who registered for today's show.
All right, Quilters, our second lucky winner of the day is, drum roll please, Kathy R. from Kokomo, Indiana.
Congratulations.
Kathy. You're really gonna like this.
Oh, you are.
I'm so excited about this.
We really love this die. All right, so many great ideas. Now, before we get started talking about all of Marianne's inspiration, you may be wondering about the markings that you saw on her die. Marianne likes to mark her dies with the size that she needs to rough cut her fabric to prepare it for the die. So that is what you saw on the die.
There is no dye police you can write on it.
And I think it looked like she'd used a silver permanent marker.
Yeah,
So
whatever you want to do there.
whatever you want to do.
Now, the key to this dye is fabric.
Yes.
And this is a great time to look through your novelty fabric because she found donuts. The
Yes.
minute I saw that, we should have had donuts today.
should have had donuts
Prints with fruits and vegetables, but don't stop there. What about fabric with buttons or sewing notions?
I like that.
Or cookies,
Oh,
right?
yes, fruits, veggies, all those things. And maybe hearts for Valentine's Day, like those little conversation hearts.
Yes.
I've seen fabric. I think I've had fabric with those. And jelly beans for Easter.
Yes.
I also really did love, again, she used also the signature block for the label, and that's so easy.
Yeah.
You just fuse your fabric, you cut it out, you press it on.
So since we've been talking about this, I have thought in my quilting head
Yes.
about finding some fabric that have those conversation hearts and then find the bigger ones that are a little thinner. And then you can hot glue some of them and then put the plastic over so it looked like a jar of conversation hearts for Valentine's
That would be
Day,
really fun.
which is coming soon.
It is coming soon.
But I do like jelly beans for Easter. That
I
is
do
super
too. I do too. There's a lot of things you can do with it.
All right. Now, there are different ways to mark on the fabric as well. There's chalkboard fabric, which I think is super adorable.
That would be adorable for the label. Yeah.
But let's talk a minute about clear vinyl, which is in the upcoming trunk show as well. You will just lose your quilting minds when you see it. So clear vinyl is super easy to use. So I went to the craft store and, okay, for $2, I bought all of this
Okay.
vinyl. It comes in a big roll.
Yeah.
And then somebody will cut you, I don't know, a quarter yard or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Whatever you need in life. Okay, so here it is. And this is really thin. It's hard to see here, but we kind of kept it on its paper.
Yeah.
You really want it thin, but Erica, you have a great tip about this.
Yeah, so if you haven't worked with vinyl before, I've done a couple of projects with it, but it's important to note you can't pin it into place because if you do that, you will have permanent holes where your
Yes.
pins were.
Right.
So this is not something. So if you want to hold it, if you're piecing it together with that, this is a great chance to use those little clips, those little clippies.
Right. Or, here, hold please, let me grab some.
Yes.
We have some blue tape right here.
Yes, that would work too.
Okay. All right, so we're going to cut one of these, and then we're going to cut some strawberries and show you how it is.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So we're just going to use a little blue tape here.
Okay, and it doesn't really have a grain.
Oh my, no, please don't make me
don't
look
think
for the
so.
grain.
We're not going to worry about
Super
it.
excited to tape it down here. And the reason we want to tape it down is because the minute it goes through that
It
cutter,
could slide.
it's going to
Yeah.
slide, and then it's not going to cut cleanly.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think what I'm going to do, Erica, is do a little one
A
here.
little one here too. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And how many layers? I'm going to say one.
One. And not because you couldn't cut more, because you could, but it again, the slide. The
What
slide.
have I done here? I've
Oh, did
moved
you
it once.
unplug it again?
One more time, yes.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
here is the thing that happens. You have to, if you
There,
unplug
it's
your
good.
machine, it doesn't work.
My boots catch on this cord as I stand here.
Well, you are so used to being barefoot when you sew and
I think that that's
work.
the thing
That's-
is
you
that
wear shoes on the set and she can't function.
I can't feel the cord underneath my feet. Okay, so now we're going to slide it off, and now you can see.
Feel that little bit of.
Yeah, I'm going to peel it right off here. But the reason we use painter's tape is so that we could do that.
Yeah, I'm going to take this off
Okay. I'm going to
because.
pull it right here off the edge.
Okay.
There it goes. Okay.
All right. Why don't you grab our other die?
Oh yeah.
'Cause I want to cut that strawberry.
We have two. Imagine that.
I'm going to
having two
take the
dies.
tape off of this.
Okay.
It's only going to take a second, but you know.
Okay, so Erica's going to leave that there. And then now we really do need to worry about lengthwise grain. I purposely left the
Yep.
salvage on it.
Yep.
I just rough cut a small piece. This is that lengthwise grain.
Okay, I'm loving this.
I know, isn't it so
I can't wait to
so
cut it
cute?
out.
So a couple of weeks ago, our good friend Terry Vanderbosch made oven mittens out of strawberry
Yes.
fabric.
So we had a last-minute gift show,
Mm-hmm.
and she made oven mitts out
Right.
of the strawberry fabric, and then had Grandma's strawberry sunshine jam recipe on the other side.
So you could totally
Look at this.
cut this out and then put the clear vinyl in it, and then in one of the pockets, put Grandma's Sunshine's strawberry jam.
You could put the recipe card in
Right,
there.
so you could totally
Isn't
put
that
that.
fun?
Isn't that so cute?
Oh, it's so cute.
All right,
Do a
we're
whole
loving the
quilt with
canning.
jams and jellies.
You could. You
Okay,
could.
but let's not overlook the chance to use applique inside that jar. You
Yes.
could do hearts, you could do stars, you could do all kinds of things.
How about actual buttons?
Actual buttons? The actual butterfly, we saw an actual little butterfly.
Yes.
So actual things going into your jar.
Wait till you see the trunk show.
Oh my
There's some
goodness,
actual
we keep
things.
saying this, but I just love all these ideas. Now, because the block finishes to 8 inches, Marianne went over some other bob dies that finish to 8 inches to pair it up with. But if you want to pair it up with something that finishes larger than 8 inches, maybe 9 or 10 inches, that's when you can use your strip dies and cut strips to sew onto the outside edges of your block.
Right, so this finishes to 8 inches, so we would add 1-inch strips around it.
Right.
Okay, and then what size is
So
this?
then here we go with my favorite die, the glorified 9 patch.
Right, and we're gonna leave a little space here so you can
Yep.
see that it's gonna match up.
Yep.
Okay, I know.
I
left
thought
them
we
over
had
there.
white strips and
I did. I don't know what I've done with them. It's okay.
they've wandered off. So these are blocks I've been working on for my glorified 9 patch
Who's
quilt.
here in the Dream Studio? I tell you,
Who's
it's
in the
been one
Dream
of those
Studio?
days today.
So here are some of the blocks I've been making, but I got to thinking, wouldn't this be fun? It really highlights the jars, canning jars, and it's all that 30s feel fabric.
Right. So when you sew this together, you're going to see this great secondary
Look at that.
pattern of the circle to go around the
Right, and
canning
it's
jar.
not going to be a perfect circle because again, it will be a perfect circle.
It will be a perfect circle.
This
that
because
will
we're
be
going to
9 inches.
enlarge this,
Right.
and that's just going to give us a 1/2 inch extra all the way around with that 1-inch strip.
And this is, I really want you to see the visual of this because this is a perfect example of how our bob dies work together.
Yes.
All you have to do is add a little border,
Right,
right? Okay.
super simple.
All right, I love it. Okay, so let's see what our experts have, this great idea that we've seen our experts use in the past, and it really
Yes.
works well to create different pairings.
Right, to expand your possibilities if you have an idea in your head. So now we want to see how inventive and creative our experts have become. We want to see their final projects. Let's start with Barbara. What do you have?
Well, ladies, are you ready for that jarring craft project? I grabbed my new canning jar bob, some craft vinyl, and I came up with a bug in a jar. I started with some applique, but this little slot down here allows you to put all types of little butterflies or different little critters up inside there before you make that last seam. Now, my challenge was to use the cubes with the new canning jar. So I went to my cubes, I pulled out my 4-inch cube, shaped 12.1, those little tiny triangles, and I made some fireflies in a jar. There's 6 little fireflies. You can see the little half square triangles. My grandson Nathan loves fireflies in a jar, and this way can enjoy it all year long. And like any craft project, you gotta add some sparkle. So I added these lights. Now, all the materials you need and the instructions are in the pattern. So I hope you make a firefly jar and enjoy it. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. That was so clever and
That is
so
so
cute.
clever.
And okay, I grew up in
Adding
Seattle
the
where
little lights.
I grew up in Seattle. There are no fireflies there.
Oh.
It's not humid enough. Here in Nebraska, we have plenty of fireflies.
Oh, we have plenty.
Yeah, so I thought it was darling to take those tiny little blocks, add them to the
I
jar,
love how she made those
I
tiny
think it's
little
so cute.
blocks too.
and there's a pattern for it. So
Yes,
Thank
even
you.
better, even
All right,
better.
Marianne, what did you make for us?
So here it is. This is my big reveal. I call it lightning jars. Used 6 canning jars, 8-inch finished. I did use 1 Hattie's Choice in the corner. I used 5mm stars, and I did the Hattie's Choice so I could switch the colors. So the orange go this way and that way. I thought it was kind of cool. And then if you can see, I have 3 applique lightning bugs on it. Now let me tell you a little bit about the material that I used. I used a blue grunge for the background for the dark night sky, and then I used this really cool metallic sparkly grunge. and I found this orange sparkly fabric, if you can see it. And then what really made this pop was the lightning bug fabric. And the cool thing about it is it glows in the dark. So if you make it for a kid's room and you hang it in the room during the day, they see it looks really cool. And then at night, when you turn the lights off, the lightning bug tails light up. Really fun, really cool. What did I use? I used the Hattie's Choice. I used the Million Stars. Obviously, I used the canning jar. And then I used the critters. And I cut out this as the lightning bug. And I added a little bit of detail, cutting the parts of the dragonfly out for the wings. And I cut a little piece of gold sparkle for the underbelly so they would glow. So I hope you like it. It's called Lightning Jars.
Okay. Glow in the dark fabric for the win.
Glow in the dark fabric and sparkle too.
Sparkle grunge.
Sparkle grunge. It's like
All
the
good
best of
things.
both worlds.
And what a great use of the critter dye,
Yes.
right? To just
yes.
make those little lightning
And I
bugs.
love how she made, just cut the hand, just kind of ad lib cut that little bit of sparkle for the belly.
Yeah.
And how they both came up separately with lightning bugs in a jar, which quite frankly makes our next question all the more difficult to answer. Which expert project is your favorite? Is it Barbara's Firefly jar, her home decor picture, or Marianne's Go Lightning Jars wall hanging? Or is it both?
Okay, if you're watching about the registration, I don't know how you're going to decide.
I don't know either.
Link or YouTube, you can click on the vote box below or to the right of the chat box.
And if you're watching via Facebook, vote from the box that displays over the video. You know what? For being like the same, they are so different.
They are, and you know, you and I kind of talked about that on such a versatile way, and the fabric is the key.
Fabric
Fabric
is the key.
And I love the fact that that Marianne reminds us that it is truly a 5-minute block.
Right.
Okay, I want you to know I've sewn probably a half a dozen mason
Yes.
jars.
We've been enjoying it very much.
We've been having a great time. So I just think it's great. So all right.
is.
So while our viewers are voting, be sure and vote.
Yes.
Every vote counts.
Vote away.
Their favorite project. Let's get into today's trunk shop.
Every vote does count because I have a feeling it's going to be close,
be so
or
close.
it's going to be both. I don't know.
Producer Joe has his whiteboard ready for the
Oh,
new year.
he does. He does. Okay. But the patterns are so amazing.
Okay, first of all, we have the Windowsill Blossoms table render by our good friend Terry Vandenbosch of Lizard Creek Quilting and Maywood Studios. This is the pattern on the packaging.
Yes.
And everything about this we love.
We do. We do.
We love the fact that Terry used her 8-inch cube to make those pinwheels that look like flowers and for the corners. And then Erica, what did she use for the stems and leaves?
Oh, she used stems and leaves.
I gave you that little plea. Okay, but now here's my favorite part. One, she used striped fabric.
Yeah, so we've
but-
got striped fabric here, striped fabric for the binding, and striped fabric for the jar lids.
For the jar lids, and they go in that horizontal
Horizontal,
direction.
like jars.
And in all fairness,
because it's not really a lid then,
Right.
because it's an open jar,
Right.
it's,
it's darling.
see where we're going.
And it does count because we actually got this in 2022, so she can have stripe binding.
There you
But
go.
look at the back. Look at the fabric on the back.
So fun, so springy.
So sunshine.
Sunshine, yes,
Okay.
that is a sunny one. Well, this one is a totally different take, and this one pairs it up with a bob die. This is Go Ride a Wave by Amanda Harward of Larkspur Quilts using Andover fabrics.
Now, this probably will show up on a Wednesday AQ Live soon.
I bet it will.
And I thought this was brilliant. Amanda, good job here because she turned that jar on its side, and who does not want to build a boat in a bottle?
Mm-hmm. Right?
Everybody.
Here's our 8-inch finished Storm at Sea or
Snail's Trail.
block.
Yep, yep. And then she just appliqued those little boats in the center. So she used the nautical medley die.
Mm-hmm.
And what a great way. You could make your boats all different. You could make them the
yeah.
same. I just think it's great. But the quilting on it really is darling as well.
It is. It's a really fun design.
Yeah.
And I love that she used the gold thread.
I know, you don't really
On
see
it.
it until you see it there.
And then here's the back.
Right. And then Amanda used our free embroidery downloads to aplicate those.
Those little boats in a bottle.
Amanda, good job.
Okay, now this next one.
Laura Strickland, you have
Laura
outdone yourself.
Strickland, you
She's
have.
from Orange Blossom Quilts. This is called the Go Penguins, Snowmen, and Snow Globes. Oh my.
And this is an
Look.
oh my project.
Okay,
if
so I'm
there
going to hold
ever
it up
was
big
one.
so Erica can talk about all the things.
So here we go. We've started in the middle with the Prairie Star. Okay, so a block on board.
I love that.
The background, she's appliqued snowflakes. These are our 7-inch snowflakes, the little ones from the mitten die. This is the Ghost Snowflake. This is from Holiday Medley. But, okay, for the win with the vinyl. Here, let's take a look.
We're going to hold it the right way so you can see it.
Yes, because she used the vinyl and she put sequins. I have to go like this. I don't want
Yes.
to go like this. She put sequins and snowflake-shaped sequins inside so that they really are snow globes.
They're snow globes, and she used our penguin. This is darling.
So it's the penguin. And she's used holiday accessories
Yes.
to build with the circle die to build the
Yeah.
snowman, to put the little hat on the penguin. I mean, how cute is this?
And the fabric, the background fabric is perfect
It
for
is perfect.
And so this is really great. So think about this. You could make this a table runner. You could make it a wall hanging.
so many
It would be
things.
super cute as in a kid's room.
Oh my
for
gosh.
the winter.
It would be so cute. And I was thinking of a way to turn it into a table tree skirt for Christmas.
Yes.
But I didn't want to have to cover it up with packages because it was too
Oh, no,
darn
it's way too cute. And, okay, by the way, Laura gets extra points because she used flange binding.
And here, let's take a look at those points too. She's used here we go, up here.
Oh, here, hold please.
So she's got these set on point. Here she's used the diamonds from the Prairie Star in the center and used them with raw edge applique.
Yeah.
Then she's cut off pieces of the snowflakes and used a motif stitch on this, or a decorative stitch,
Yeah.
just to give it a little extra texture.
Little oomph.
Little oomph. It's fabulous.
It's fabulous. We love it.
And last but not least, this is so fun. And of course, I know
This is a
I'm
new
going through
designer.
my...
This is Andy Knowlton of A Bright Corner. And Andy used Moda fabrics, and we love everything about this.
No, I am admittedly going through my blue phase currently. So
It really is.
I love the little tiny blue gingham.
Yes.
I love the blue, navy blue tumblers for the little
Orange
shelves.
tumblers.
I love the fabric, the little
Yes.
farm fabric.
Hey, what's this right here?
It says, it
has words,
It has
that's why I
words,
love
and
it.
it says farmer's market and chicken and farm fresh and
Yeah.
all kinds of fun things.
I just think this is so sweet. And really, truly, like a weekend project. If you're looking
yes.
for something new for the new year, this is
You
a
could
great
get
one.
this done in no time. It's called the Go Fruit Preserves Throw Quilt. And like she said, it is by Andy Knowlton. And in
love it.
case you didn't know, all of these patterns are available as free downloads at AccuQuilt.com. So you want to be sure and download your patterns before your dies arrive. You can get your fabric and be ready to go. So Lynn isn't here today.
Lynn is not here today. So I think we should start a new tradition in 2023.
I think so as well.
I
Where,
think
what
you
would
and I should be able to choose our favorites and take them.
Oh, I think
Because
that's
Lynn always in
lovely.
2022, she like took a table runner. So which one would you take?
I am conflicted, but you know what? I think
I'm conflicted.
I'm just going to reach right over here before
Yeah.
you say anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab this one to take home
I love
with
it.
me.
And I think I'm going to take the Ride a Wave one because we're going to use it in an upcoming project.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So when she comes back,
Don't tell her. I don't know. She might have something different to say.
I don't know.
All right. Now, you saw in the trunk show
Oh, and here it
some
is.
fabrics. So these are the fabrics that Amanda used for Ride a Wave. So here is the gold for the canning jar lid. Here's the two fabrics she used
The two blues.
for the Storm at Sea. Here's the background for the boats, and ta-da, boat fabric.
Boat fabric.
And we have two of these, and we're going to give them away, and you can all make this project.
So fun. So fun. All right. So the winner of the first Andover fabric selection is, drum roll please, it's Peggy W. from Jacksonville, Arkansas. Congratulations.
And the winner of a second selection in fabric from our good friends at Andor is, a drum roll please, Brenda C. from Victor, New York. Ooh, I bet it's snowing.
Oh, I bet it
New
is.
York.
Congratulations, Brenda. All right, a huge shout out and thank you to Andover for sponsoring today's show. Our quilters are going to love making canning jar piece projects with this fabric.
Do love Andover fabrics.
Yes,
All right,
we do.
quilters, the time has come. Our team has counted your votes, and we asked which expert project was your favorite. Now we're going to announce the winner.
Yes, we are.
Okay, do you know which one won?
I don't.
I feel like they were so close.
Yes.
And I liked them both. Okay.
All right, the team has counted all your votes, and the winner is, drum roll, please.
See what
It's bold.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. They are fabulous. And while similar,
Yes.
very different,
Very different.
right?
Very different. And I love Barbara's pineapples.
Yeah.
Make some pineapples, team.
The pineapples, the candy,
Yes,
all the things
the
that she
glow-in-the-dark fabric that Marianne used.
yes, and
I mean,
sparkly fabric.
creative
and-
possibilities are endless.
That's right.
All right, so quilters, this is the first show of the new year. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes.
We wanted to do something extra special before we sign off.
That's right. And as you may have guessed, the Quilt the World 2022 campaign finished at exactly 11:59 p.m. Central Time on New Year's Eve.
We had so many entries, and we are so grateful that so many of our quilters participated in covering the world one quilt at a time. Our huge thank you to all of you who donated. We donated almost 400 quilts. They were donated to over 33 different charities, including 121 to Project Linus Alone, which is one of our great charities we support.
That's right. And we want to thank everyone who made a quilt, who donated it to a charity of their choice, shared it publicly with us on Instagram or Facebook, and used the hashtag QuiltTheWorld2022. Doing all of that made you eligible for the monthly prize drawings and for the grand prize
Right.
drawing.
All right, but before you get to the grand prize, let's announce the winner of the December Quilt the World 2020 first.
Okay.
Now, this winner will receive $200 in prizes, $100 of Moda Fabrics,
Yes?
and $100 in AccuQuilt reward points. Both things I could use every day.
Yes.
All right, the December winner is, drum roll please, Anita B. from Covington, Washington.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations, Anita. Be sure and share with us which die you
We
got.
want to see what you do. Yes. Now, the grand prize winner of the Quilt the World 2022 campaign will receive a baby lock sewing machine,
Oh, yes.
$1,000 in product from Moda Fabrics,
Hold, please. How much?
$1,000,
$1,000. And,
$1,000 in reward points from AccuQuilt.
oh my goodness, what an amazing prize.
It is.
All right, without further ado, the grand prize winner is huge. Drum roll, please. Rosita M. of New Holland, Pennsylvania. Congratulations. Rosita is out of her quilting mind right now.
I hope so. I certainly would be.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. We want to thank again everyone who participated in Quilt the World 2022 campaign. Your donations have really shown how quilting really can cover the world, one quilt at a time.
All right, quilters, we have tons of great deals available for you on our website.
You bet there are. And to get your order in right now, we want you to open a new tab on your browser, type in AccuQuilt.com/party. It'll take you to the site. You can see the offers and place your order.
And since it's the first Tuesday of the month, we have special bundles for launch parties, especially for the Die to Try series.
That's right. And since this is a limited edition die, there's only a limited number of Go Canning Jar dies available. So we have been known to sell out of dies very quickly.
Yes,
And you need to get your order in as soon as possible.
yes. All right, it is time for Eric and I to get ready for our next show. We hope that today's launch party was just what you needed to inspire you for your first projects of the new year.
So we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching our show. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel and look for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday.
You can visit the events page on AccuQuilt's website for more details on upcoming shows. And while you're there, check out the blog for tips, tricks, tutorials, and inspiration galore.
And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time.
so you can quilt more. Be sure to check out our events page to register for upcoming events. Registering for each event means that you're entered to win a door prize that we'll give away during the show.
Join me every Wednesday at 12 noon Central Time for AccuQuilt Live. We have tons of fun. Tomorrow we'll be making blocks from the Ride a Wave pattern using the new Go Canning Jar. Be sure and join us tomorrow.
That's right, and join us every Tuesday at 12 noon Central Time for more launch parties and trunk shows. These events are filled with more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Next time, we'll be having another launch party for something that will help upgrade your quilting experience. We hope to see you there.